Hosannah, hey, Zanna, 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 ho. Zanna, hey, Zanna, ho. Zanna. Hey, Robbie, that's me. I got a show for thee. Zanna, ho, Zanna, hey. Broadway battles. Wow. Thank you and good night. Stream over. No, wow. Hello, welcome to Volume 2 of Broadway Battles, Easter Edition. That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rob Weiner. I am the Deputy Director, one of the founders of Farmers Alley Theater, and while we're on our quarantine and coronavirus little hiatus here, we've spent these last couple of Sunday nights together, and we're so thrilled that you joined us, either for the first time or back again. Just a great way to connect with our audience and to have a really fun time talking about theater. We've got a really cool show coming for you tonight. If you want to interact with us, and comment with us. If you signed up last time, then great. But I believe there's a link. It's StreamYard.com/Facebook. It's just something that Facebook wants you to click on so you can interact and talk to us and get really interactive with the show, because we've got some questions for you that we want your opinion about. And then we want you to judge right along with me and let me know which battler do you think wins the question and wins the night. We'll get into the rules of that in just a second. Broadway battles, that's right, Easter style. So, maybe you're tuned in from Jesus Christ Superstar. I know what's going on at NBC right now, but we've got some JCS related questions, including one I want you to think about right now. What is the best song in Jesus Christ Superstar? We're going to hear from our three contestants, their opinions in just a second, but what's your opinion right now? Give us a shout out in those comments below. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce my three contestants for you. First, now she may be a Texas girl now, but she's always been a little bit bad, and that's our returning champion from last Broadway Battles, who convinced me that West Side Story is the show that I want to see before I die. It's Kaitie Badalamenti. It's Kaitie Bad.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Broadway Battles. I'm so excited to be here.
That's right. You're going to be a fixture here. You keep winning those titles now.
Yes.
You beat Kagan and Nat last week or last 2 weeks ago. You have any predictions for this week?
No more worthy competition than Kagan and Nat there, but I'm so excited to be participating with Jeremy and Dwight today. And, in Broadway Battles, you can't make any predictions. The best argument and the best defense will get you the point, but we'll have to see. You can't make predictions.
She's very political there. She's talking about her past competitors while looking towards the future. Well, we're very pleased to have you with us, Kaitie, once again.
Thanks,
Secondly, our next battler, he finally steps into the battler seat after being our fact checker last time. He's our artistic director, Wild Award-winning actor. He's a very handsome man and a very ugly woman. If you saw the Andrews Brothers, it's Jeremy Koch.
Hello, Facebook world. I got to tell you, I'm feeling really good. Well, I mean, all things considered. I'm feeling good about this battle, and I'll tell you why. I've got the long hair, a la Jesus. I played Jesus twice, and I'm wearing purple up top. I've got the purple socks with the polka dots, and I'm eating some delicious apple, whatchamacallits, that they're so good I forgot the name, that Deneen and Kathy made. So apple crisps. Yeah.
Happy Easter to anybody who celebrates. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Happy Passover.
Yes.
Hope everybody is staying safe out there.
Jeremy's
Jesus look. What do you think, audience? Give us your comments below. If you want to be in the comments, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. We'll get back to Jeremy and his apple crisp in just a moment. But lastly, I want to welcome in a special guest checking in from Manhattan, NYC. He's one of our favorite performers at Farmers Alley Theater, having put on memorable performances in our productions of The Producers, It's Only a Play, Peter and the Starcatcher, Spam-A-Lot, Urinetown, and many more. It's the one and only Dwight Trice Jr.
Hello, my little Easter eggies.
Hey.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, what's the word from New York City, Dwight? You know, we had Ned on a couple weeks ago, letting us know what the vibe is there in the epicenter. I hope you're staying safe, and the ones you love one are taking care and shelter in place and whatnot.
Absolutely. Yeah, the vibe here is pretty chill. Everyone is trying to stay off the streets as much as possible, trying to stay as socially distant as possible. My hands are very dry from washing them so much, but that is what's necessary right now. We're just trying to get through this together.
Well, that's wonderful. We're so thrilled that you've taken time out of your Easter Sunday to be with us.
Oh,
and
very busy, very booked, very busy.
So, excuse me, before we begin starting here, I just want to go over the rules of Broadway Battles. No, before even that, how could I forget? We have a fact checker on board, ladies and gentlemen. Last week we had Jeremy, and this week we've gone up in class, I think, a little. Here we are, our fact checker, my brother, Adam Weiner.
How's it going, everyone? Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
No, Adam, as fact checker, if these guys make any biblical mistakes, I know that you're a very, very good scholar of the Talmud and Torah. So
I tell you, I am a big Jew for Jesus Christ superstar. Love the show and familiar with a lot of biblical musicals and love all that. So.
Well, we'll talk about some of those biblical musicals in just a moment here. But before we begin, thank you for being here, Adam, and all of our contestants. Julie working the switchboard behind me. Before we begin, let's go over the rules, shall we, of Broadway Battles. Excuse me. Broadway Battles is a debate competition show where I award points to the contestant who is deemed to give the best argument for their question. Now, it's not necessarily the best answer, it's the best argument. It's up to the battlers to convince me and you, the audience, why their answer is the best and why the other answers just don't cut it. Each battler gets 45 seconds to give their answer to a particular question, after which I will open up the floor for a few minutes of dialogue, after which our fact checker, Adam, will correct or confirm anything he deems necessary. He'll also check in at that time with you, the audience, to say what you have to say, and then I will make my final deliberation before declaring a victor. We will have 3 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end will be deemed the Broadway Battles Easter Edition champion. In the event of a tie, we will have a tie-breaking question. So without further ado, contestants, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody wearing pants?
No comment.
All right, well, let's begin then with question number 1.
Woo.
So today was Easter Sunday, and I know many people watching may have tuned into a live service this morning, or Jesus Christ Superstar, like I said, is playing on NBC right now. Thanks for tuning in to us. Feel free to hit the DVR button if you must. Excuse me. Now, in my personal opinion, Jesus Christ Superstar is Andrew Lloyd Webber's best score, with so many memorable musical styles, songs, and characters to perform them. But my very first question is very simple, and that is, what is the best song in Jesus Christ Superstar? And I'm going to turn it over to, let's say, Dwight here. Dwight, for question number 1. Dwight, what is the best song in Jesus Christ Superstar? Your 45 seconds begin.
So the answer, of course, is Superstar. I know this for 3 reasons. I think it is a necessary moment for the audience. It gives everyone a collective sigh of relief, a moment to kind of take a break, to ease some of that tension that's built up over the past couple scenes of seeing a suicide and a whipping and part of a crucifixion. Number 2, you get that glorious theme and a huge full orchestral moment coming back at you. The da-da-da. Judas comes back from the dead. That's amazing. And if it's cast well, you know that he can sing. So Judas proceeds to slay the house down boots, bringing you to your feet because he is down. We have risen. The song does all this while making a statement about the commercialization and popularization of the church and mega churches, which I think is the central conceit of the show.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll get to arguing that in just a moment. Next, I'm going to go over to Kaitie Bad. Kaitie, your question as Dwight. What is the best song in JCS?
Absolutely. So I think it's important to look at the question in honor of Easter. What's the best number or song from Jesus Christ Superstar? And there's one answer. It's all in the title. It's Heaven on Their Minds, of course. And that's for two reasons. I'd like to touch upon things in the question. It's the preliminary theme that plays throughout the entire show. It's an amazing song that's packed with emotion, variety, lyrical brilliance, and is a powerhouse number. I've seen this number get a standing ovation. Carl Anderson was amazing. Rest in peace. And yeah, it's all in the title. It's about Jesus. It's the reason for the season.
All right. Very well. We'll go to our third contestant, Jeremy. Jeremy, two worthy answers before you, but I will give you this question one final time. What is the best song in Jesus Christ Superstar?
The best song in Jesus Christ Superstar is I Don't Know How to Love Him. This is a song about love. It's a song about a complicated relationship. It's a song that all of us can relate to, loving someone who can or won't love you back. Now, the big reason why this is the best song is because this song has been recorded numerous times by pop stars. Why would they choose that song to record and put on their albums if it wasn't the best? Most notably, Petula Clark, and also a very special note to Helen Reddy and Yvonne Elliman. And Yvonne played the lead in the Broadway musical. Helen Reddy, of course, famous singer and TV movie star. They were both on the Top 40 and the Hot 100 chart on Billboard magazine simultaneously with the same song. And it's also the only solo for the only female role in the show.
All right, Jeremy, bring in the heat there in the Billboard Top 100 chart. Let's go with the facts there. So I'm going to look up this group
don't know
discussion.
how to love him. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we live?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
All right, I'm going to go over to Dwight first here, since it's been a while since we spoke to you. Dwight, defend your choice and take these other two down. What do you think, Dwight?
Hit me. Dwight, hit me.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Take us down.
Oh, take you down. Okay, gladly. Okay, so lovely. Heaven on Our Minds. It is a wonderful, wonderful song. Good job, Kaitie. I think I thought about that one hard. I think it's a wonderful bop. It starts the show off really, really great. You do get that gorgeous theme. However, I feel like it doesn't do enough to really classify as the best song in the show. It sets everything up. It sets up the conflict, but like that's it. We have to watch the show. It's a piece of that puzzle. And just like every puzzle, I think you have to look at it as a whole in its entirety to really appreciate the glory and the majesty of the entire work of art. Next, I think that I Don't Know How to Love Him is a really good choice as well. I think it's a little easy. Yeah, we don't know how to love him. I think that's kind of, it is a central part of the show. But Pilate doesn't know what to do with him. People don't know what to do with him. The media doesn't know what to do with him. It's Jesus Christ. That's understandably so. No one knows what to do with them. No one's ever been Jesus before. So yeah, it's part of it, but I think again, it's a piece of that. It's not a sum of the show's not a sum of its parts. It's more than that. It's like appreciating it as a whole. And we're going to talk about pop stars and people doing that number, like Ben Vereen, Carl Anderson, Tim Minchin, like Brandon Victor Dixon. These men have played Judas. Judas is that role, that song. It's a bop. You can't tell me that it's not a bop. Okay,
You can't. Let's go. Battle
I won't stand for it.
Sure.
Well, if you're talking about how amazing Judas has to be, I agree, and that's why I picked the number Heaven on Their Minds. It's all in the title, and in honor of Easter, and people who practice Christianity, it's all about Christ's ascension to heaven, and heaven is literally on everybody's mind. It represents the mass amount of people depicted in the Bible who don't understand Jesus's ability to heal and choice to pay the ultimate sacrifice. And it has such a big arc. I mean, you get a big belting moment for Judas,
but
and
you get all of that in just that song.
Oh, of course. And then throughout the rest of the show, it's the primary music that plays in and out of all of the breaks and through the entire show. It's in the entire show.
But you're forgetting a crucial lyric in that song. Judas says, they've got too much heaven on their minds. He's telling everyone that they're going nuts, they're going crazy, they're following someone who is just a man. He's questioning the divinity of Jesus. Okay, so your argument, sorry. And Dwight, your song is it's a cool song, but it's a pop song. It's just like a disco song. It doesn't further the plot.
Part of your argument.
It's just for fun. It's just for fun. No, I know. But my song not only has the pop chops, it also furthers the plot. It's a very important moment in the show, a quiet moment, and the one song for that female character.
All right, and time.
Okay, what better time? I think the moment
Dwight, we are
taken by the audience, and everyone at the end of the crucifixion. I need to stand up. I need to shake off that energy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you all went.
Mike.
Like, have you seen Jesus Christ?
Don't you get me wrong. Don't you get me wrong.
All righty. Well, thank you, Adam. We're going to go to you for fact checking here. No love for Gethsemane. And what fact checking you have to do for this?
I can't believe, honestly, that there was no love for Gethsemane. In fact, I went and looked on here. As far as I know, from the information I found, the most covered song in the show by artists is Jeremy was correct. I Don't Know How to Love Him. Followed in close second by Gethsemane. And then King Herod's song was number 3. But Superstar and I can't find the other one, but Superstar is in the top 10, but those are the top 3.
Well, let's thank you for that, Adam. Compelling arguments, all 3 of you. Kaitie, to me, you are spinning your wheels a little, and we're not hammering at the most iconic part of the show. Is that that guitar riff there, and I don't think you mentioned that enough. Jeremy, and so it came out between Jeremy and Dwight for me. And Jeremy, when you slammed Dwight for Superstar being like a pop song, and he came right back at you and said, well, that's one of the reasons why you picked your song. I thought Dwight was the best prepared. He had numbered 3 points, and I'm giving it to Dwight because when you think of JCS, you think of that little riff that he sings, dun, 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 and Dwight was able to make that point clearer. So I'm giving the point to Dwight Trice. Dwight,
congratulations, Dwight.
Dwight, are you having trouble hearing us?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Rob, I can't hear you.
Okay, we're going to talk to see if Julie can do that. Maybe.
Thank you.
So we're going to go over to question number 2 while we do that. And the Bible, of course, has been a great source of musical theater for us. Shows like Jesus Christ Superstar, as we mentioned, Godspell, Joseph, Children of Eden, and the new Prince of Egypt musical, which had premiered on the West End and was being worked on by our good friend Jeremy Scott Lapp. Until the virus, of course, shut it down. But there is the recording on Spotify. Go check out The Prince of Egypt, a London musical recording. So obviously we know that the Bible is great source material for musicals. And I asked each one of you to come up with an original musical based on a Bible story, along with its title, who composed it, and any of the stars of the show. So for question 2, and I'm going to start with Kaitie Bad. Kaitie, please pitch your new musical based on a part of the Bible.
Perfect. So my new musical is called The Divine Truth, and it's going to be based on the book of Revelation, widely the most controversial, full of majestic, strange imagery, and music and lyrics by Lin-Manuel Miranda, featuring Daniel Breaker, who starred as Aaron Burr in Hamilton in Chicago as John. The book of Revelation is about John the Apostle, and he is in a cave basically seeing these visions and all of these imageries from God about the impending rapture and ascension to heaven and instructions for the 7 churches. And I thought it would be cool to do a comedic take on this, a farce, and then have John live kind of like Scrooge in each of those visions he's inserted, and he has to make it through a series of those visions or challenges. Could be really funny and really cool.
That sounds very original, and the comedic take might have merit there. Let's go over to Jeremy, shall we? Jeremy has come up with his original musical based on a part of the Bible, and he's going to tell you about it right now.
My pitch is a new Broadway musical called Small But Mighty, the David versus Goliath musical, with a score by Jason Robert Brown in his triumphant return to Broadway after winning Best Score for Bridges of Madison County, and starring Jordan Fisher, Broadway's current Evan Hansen, although Broadway is unfortunately not running right now, but it will be back soon. And so will Farmers Alley Theater. And him being an actor of color will add social significance to slaying Goliath with songs like Five Smooth Stones, He's Just a Boy, and I Fight for My Family. Small But Mighty is a timely tale that tackles bullying, justice, equality, and doing what's right even when it seems you are destined to fail. It's a classic boy gets stone, boy meets ogre, boy kills ogre story that we've seen a million times, but it will be brand new and fresh.
Wow, that was a great elevator pitch there, Chair. Now, hopefully, we'll get to number 3 here. And Dwight, you back, Dwight? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yes.
All right, wonderful. Why don't you pitch us your new musical based on a...
Absolutely. So, Katrina Lenk is Shabanu, the Jewish Queen, a new musical of the same name by David Yazbek and directed by Rachel Chavkin. This is a story about Esther, the second wife of the Persian king Xerxes I. On this journey, we follow Esther as she evolves from an obedient young woman who was coerced into a marriage she didn't want to be in, forced to keep her Jewish heritage a secret in a time when it could have gotten her and her family killed, and how she turns into a fierce queen who took a major role in protecting her fate and the fate of her people. This story has it all. It's got an evil vizier, a thwarted plot for ethnic cleansing, true love, the importance of familial bonds. It's also historically relevant as it's the origin story for the Purim feast. It's got cultural representation for non-white actors, Persian and Jewish. And most importantly, it's a story of a woman who risked everything, found her strength, and risked everything to save her people. I think it's a great story. Check it out.
Well, let's bring our other competitors back in here. And maybe, Jeremy, I want to start with you. Can you sing us a little lick from Five Smooth Small Stones or whatever you've got there on?
I'm walking in the woods. I see a babbling brook.
Yeah.
I noticed 5 smooth stones, and that's why I took them, and I put them in my satchel, and I got my mighty sling, and I walked over to Goliath, and I said, I fight here for the king, and he said, boy, you better sit down on your...
You better tell him what he say.
Boy, you better take your seat. I am the biggest man. And I said, Goliath... Okay, this is good. I could go on all day, as I guess you can see.
All right, Kaitie, tell me more about your farce here.
So I think what makes a good story is having a great arc to it, and I think it'd be hilarious to see John the Apostle going through all of this suffering and these misery. Like he's in a cave, he's stuck, he's going through all these he has all of these imagery and these visions from God, and he gets inserted into each of these scenarios where he has to go through challenges to make it out, because his goal is to make the rapture. He wants to get into heaven, and I just think it would be hilarious. You've got so many opportunities to build on technical stuff and have cool special effects with serpents coming out. You have an appearance from the devil. You have things rising from the ashes. You have such a cool opportunity for special effects, and I don't know, it'd just be so fun. I think one of the biggest problems with the David and Goliath story is it's so fast. You have him taking him out with a stone, and then it's over.
No. You get the whole backstory. You see him tending his sheep, right? You see him as sort of demure and shy, and no one would ever believe that he would be the hero. It's that classic underdog story. It would work. Trust me.
Okay, not on this Easter Sunday, y'all. Let's be real. Like, I don't need another story about a man finding his stones and doing anything. Okay, I need more diversity on Broadway, more stories about women and people of color coming. I mean, like you said, yes, Jordan Fisher is a man of color, and he would be a wonderful lead in that show. But I mean, it's not a story that's typically that you would think of that, which I do appreciate that and applaud you for doing that. But I think an entire show full of people of color, full of like the Persian race. Like, when was the last show about a group of Persians that you ever saw? You know what I mean?
Let's also keep it real though. Like Shabanu is not a title that anyone is going to recognize. Okay, you get David versus David v Goliath. DVG. Wait.
Working title.
You get DVG. Okay, you shorten it to DVG or David v Goliath, and you get that name recognition. And I don't know, Kaitie, like your idea is interesting, but I'm just not sure if people would really go for like the farcical biblical stories. I don't know if I'm quite feeling
Kaitie,
it.
what would you compare your show to? A show that we know.
Yeah, I'm interested.
You don't think people would go for like comedy and farce, and you have the campiness and success of Jesus Christ Superstar and what the Book of Mormon is today? It absolutely.
But it's all
would
about
work.
doom and gloom.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's all about like the rapture and like, you know, the end of days, and I don't need that right now. I'm literally stuck inside. Like I don't need a story about how the world's ending.
All right, thank you all. I feel like you've given a good vision, at least partly, of what all your shows are going to be. Adam, I'm not sure how you fact checking that round, but is there anything you'd like to add?
You know, 3 excellent ideas, all 3 of you. One of them almost sounded too good to be true. I don't know if this ruins Jeremy's argument, but do you know, Jeremy, there is a musical called King David?
Oh,
no! Written by none other than Alan Menken, lyrics by Tim Rice.
Cross-reference.
Does it? Isn't it after he becomes king?
No, I'm looking at the musical numbers here. They're done into chapters. In Act 1, there is a Goliath sequence. There's a song called The Belly of... There is no 5 smooth stones, but there
should be, as evidenced by my rendition.
5 smooth stones.
It was made to celebrate the 3,000th anniversary of the city of Jerusalem. And on September 6, 1997, Patti LuPone, Davis Gaines, and Rebecca Luker gave a concert at the Hollywood Bowl that ended with selections from King David.
Well, that's only one scene. My musical would expand on that story fully.
All right. If you're in the audience and you want to comment, make sure that you go to StreamYard.com and /Facebook, because I want to hear what you think, who won this round. You know, Jeremy, I kind of was leaning your way.
Adam,
and the fact checker really checked you into the boards for that. So it made me come down between Dwight and
the song
Kaitie.
Was great, though. I bet the song's better than what anything Alan Menken could have done.
Yeah.
He's my mentor. So.
All right, judgment is in session, please. And I'm weighing, you know, Shabanu versus the Book of Revelations. I'm sorry, Kay, I don't remember what your title was. It was a little confusing to me, but I mean, not just because I have a daughter whose middle name is Esther, but I liked Dwight having Katrina Link. You mentioned David Yazbek. This is coming back together for the band's visit. He's mentioned even the director of his show, Rachel Chapkin. So I am giving it to Shabanu. That's a working title. We're going to get it all fixed before it goes on Broadway, folks.
Yeah. I can't believe there hasn't been like a Purim musical or movie or anything like that.
Seriously. Yeah.
Maybe there is, like King David, and I missed it.
The world is ready for it. So, Dwight, congratulations. You won that round. Although I would pay to see all of those shows, maybe TKTS for yours, Jared. But, yeah.
I think since Dwight won, I think he should have to sing a song from his show.
Dwight, do you have a Katrina Link for us?
I don't have a Katrina Link song.
Next time you're gonna come back. You'll come back with it.
I will. I will.
Wait, 2-0.
All right. So yes, it's 2. We're not going to focus on the scores right now because we're just going to go on to question number 3 because I'm not sure how math works, but this one might just be for fun. Now, this is sort of a mini Urinetown cast reunion for us here at Farmers Valley Theater.
Yeah.
We have myself, who was Officer Barrel. Jeremy was Bobby Strong. Dwight was Hot Blades Harry. Kaitie was Mrs. Millennium, and she probably had another character name as well. And then Adam's here too.
What year was that?
That was 2013. That was right before I got married.
No, you didn't get married in 2013.
No,
I mean,
2011.
2011. Sorry, the girls were born in 2013. Oh boy, not gonna let back into the bedroom tonight. So 2011, we had all just performed Urinetown. Then we had the wedding ceremony there at Farmers Alley Theater a few weeks later. It was pretty cool. So anyway, it was a great show, and there actually are a lot of parallels in the story of Urinetown to today. I mean, we've got a health crisis, a government who is doing what they deem to be the best action, growing dissent and restlessness from the common people. So we were wondering, since you all three know the show so well, what character from Urinetown would be the best leader in a time of crisis? And we're going to go right to Jeremy first. Jeremy, which character from Urinetown will people be shocked to learn that you think would be the best leader in a time of crisis?
Well, as you mentioned, Rob, I did play the part of Bobby Strong, so I am partial to that character. But he also, of course, would be the best choice to lead in a crisis. He would put the needs of the people first, and that is always what is required in a crisis. Bobby can't be bribed and calls out the powerful for their greedy capitalist ways. How could we ever be forced to pay to pee, you ask? Well, as his first duet states, he would follow his heart. And what better way to lead in a crisis? We all have to stick together in a crisis. He knows that equality and justice demand a revolution. If you listen closely, you can hear Bobby quoting Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, "Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." Bobby knew that, was willing to give his life for that cause, and letting people pee freely. So he would certainly do the same for any other crisis. Your man is Bobby Strong.
Out and educated discussion here between the three of these contestants here. I'm going to go to Dwight next. Dwight, sir, which character from Urinetown do you believe would be the best to lead us through this health crisis, or any crisis, excuse me?
All right, so I am going to go ahead and say Miss Penelope Pennywise is the woman to follow right now during a crisis. Firstly, it was played on Broadway by Nancy Opel, who has been other roles like Evita. She was Mama in Memphis. She was the fairy godmother in Cinderella, just to name a few. She's a fierce actor. Lots of fierce woman energy. Miss Penelope Pennywise is an inside man. She's got a heart, though. She knows the system, knows it ins and outs, knows how to play this system to work for the people. She has a relationship with the people. She works at a very frequented local business, so she's already got a face with the people. They know who she is. They trust her. They understand her. She has enforced the rules. She's got a mean C6, and I mean, like, I need a nasty woman to lead me. If we had a nasty woman to lead us before, maybe we wouldn't be in this crisis right now. All right, that's what I'm saying.
All right, very good. And lastly, Kaitie Badalamenti, what character from Urinetown would be the best leader in the time of crisis?
Well, I picked Little Sally because she's the most experienced despite her age. She's well-versed in the water shortage because she's representative of the lower income population. She's not delusionally optimistic like Bobby and rushing into hasty decisions. She's the only character in the entire show who demonstrates consistent common sense and level-headed decision-making. Pennywise is a follower. She doesn't stand up for what's right fast enough, and you need someone to recognize those decisions. And Little Sally's entire being hinges on correcting the adults' mistakes and their train of thought, and that makes her the best choice for a leader.
Those are three legitimate, good choices here. Have at it, Jared. Why don't we start with you? What do you think about these other two choices?
Worthy choices, but both have major flaws. Little Sally, she's always an outsider. She's sort of an observer. She's never, I don't know where you get this whole experience thing from. She doesn't have any experience leading people. And she makes these snarky comments from the outside, you know, always on the outside, always looking in. Will she ever be more than she's always been? And Penelope Pennywise, of course, was a part of the evil conglomerate, the Urine Good Company, the UGC. How can we trust her? We can't trust her. It's Bobby Strong.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, she may have been involved, but yes, everyone has a past. She has a past. You may say like, oh yes, her emails, but whatever. At the end of the day, I would rather have someone who knows how to fight and can fight for me, who knows the system, than a child or another child with idyllic principles who doesn't. He had his chance. Bobby Strong's idea was proven, and it didn't work. He ended up.
But 5 minutes ago, Pennywise was like telling you had to pay to pee. You were like holding in your inside. Your bladder was exploding because of this woman. Bobby is consistent.
Can we talk about the end of the show? The end of the show, I hate to say it, but Caldwell B. Cladwell's methods worked. They were the things that kept the society running. Yeah, he probably could have done it with a gentler hand, but let's be real. The people who were enforcing that, he was listening to the scientists.
They worked because he killed people by throwing them off of the tops of buildings, brother.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Like as I said, he could have used a gentler hand. They didn't need to die. But I'm just, to be real, like it's real. Like he is the one who maintained their societal norms as much as he could.
So you're voting for a Cladwell.
Miss Pennywise. No, I'm not voting for Cladwell. I'm voting for
Kaitie,
Pennywise.
bring us in here, Kaitie.
Bobby can't see the forest for the trees. God bless him. He tries so hard, but he just consistently he says that he's for the people, but he's just not. He doesn't have good decision making. And then Pennywise, she is constantly a follower for what is not right, and she's always looking for someone to lead her and make decisions for her. That's why she keeps looking to Cladwell. She follows what the law is, and I think we've seen that that's not necessarily always right. Whereas little Sally, she's just looking for someone to listen to her. The snarky comments off to the side are all of the things that she could do if she was in a position of power. So it doesn't matter that she's younger. She is the person in the show who has the best track record for decision making.
Bobby's not just a fool who cannot see the forest for the trees. He is someone who knows what to do for the people. Okay,
yes,
that is the bottom line. He would do whatever he had to do for actual people, and that's what you need in a time of crisis. You have to look for the greater good of all the people, and you can't worry about the economy. You can't worry about what other people are doing. It's all about what's best for the common good, and that's what Bobby does.
And you need to approach that with intelligence, tact, and decision making so you don't get thrown off a building.
Listen, when people are not listening to you, sometimes you need a firm hand. And I think that Pennywise is the one to do that. I'm sorry.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all. Fact checker. Anything to add of that wonderful discussion?
I mean, I will say, Jeremy, you're singing songs not from Urinetown. You sang a song from Spitfire Grill and what was the other one he did? Oh, Dear Evan Hansen. So
I just go with what's given to me. Okay.
I wish Dwight would have mentioned. He's the only one in the Little Sally's the only one in the show that mentions hydraulics. I wish she would have mentioned hydraulics. That probably would have helped and made her a good leader. No, well, otherwise pretty clean.
Pretty clean. Yeah. Nobody did pick Caldwell B. Cladwell. As Dwight mentioned, his measures did effectively regulate the water supply, as evil-handed as they.
And Pennywise enforced those measures.
He killed people.
Dwight, I think that the other two had you. That Penny is kind of more of a follower than a leader. Jeremy, at first I thought that Bobby would be too naive, but you made some really great points there. But Kaitie did come at you with some of Bobby's decision-making skills, and the fact that little Sally is a dreamer, as she states at the end of Act 1, much like Bobby is. But she has a little more experience, and I'm surprised you didn't tackle her a little bit more on her experience of working also with the law. She has a good relationship with the officers.
With the corrupt cops?
I'm just ready for this little Sally, and from last Broadway Battles, Logan Schwartz and Grubenier. They are leading all of my task force from now on. So thank you to that. So I'm going to give Kaitie the point on there for little Sally. I think she's probably was the smartest three choices available. What about Mr. McQueen? He's an adapter.
Mr. McQueen is a disaster, Henny.
Yes, she is, Annie.
So that means that the final score is Dwight 2, Kaitie 1, Jeremy 0. Dwight, congratulations. You are our new Broadway Battle champion.
Yay.
Woo!
I'm
Dwight,
very
is there
happy.
anything
Some
you
fierce,
want
fierce
to
competition. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
No, I was going to say anything you want to say or anything you want to plug before we sign off.
Sure, yeah, there was some fierce competition today. Thank you so much, Kaitie and Jeremy. You guys are amazing people. I love you. And you had some really good ideas, though. I'm still about this 5 smooth stones thing. I don't know about that one. But yeah, no, just thank you guys again. And this was super fun. And I'm glad we were able to bring some levity to a time right now when I think we all need a laugh and a smile and keep listening to Broadway. There's a lot of really good cast recording albums out there that you haven't listened to that you need to.
Any recommendations?
Oh my God, I've been listening a lot. I mean,
Oh no!
Oh no!
I kind of dissected all the Waitress the third time, and it's just great. It's so fun and intricate and delicious.
Waitress was about to come to Kalamazoo right before it all went down here. So thank you so much, Dwight. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Kaitie, thank you so much for joining us from Texas. Anything you want to say to our listeners?
I just want everybody to have a great night. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Jeremy, Rob, Adam. So much fun to always come on here and do this and debate fun Broadway stuff with you guys, and I had a great time.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Yes.
And before I turn to Jeremy, just thank you all of our audience for watching here and joining us.
Yes, we love you guys.
There's so many great organizations to support. If you feel at all compelled to donate to Farmers Alley Theater's emergency fund that helps us keep paying our employees during this time off. I mean, I know we're just a small little theater, but any little bit counts if you like. There's a link right there to our farmersalleytheater.com/donate. Jeremy, any goodbyes you want to say before we bid you adieu this Easter?
I echo the other sentiments. This was great. I think we should do more of these, Rob. You know, some mini reunions could be a lot of fun. And I'll say that I lost to some worthy opponents, but I am the winner because I still have a bite of apple dumpling.
Well, Jeremy, we're going to try to be here every Sunday night at 8 o'clock for the foreseeable future with content like this. As a matter of fact, next week, we're going to do a really cool cast hangout with the original cast of the Great American Trailer Park Musical. So we're looking forward to that. We're gonna Adam's going to be there. You know, my wife Whitney, Hannah Ellis, Cece Weeks, Gina Chimner, Joe Deli, Amanda Martin. They've all agreed to be there along with our director. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So check out that next week at 8 o'clock, and then the following week we're going to try to do some Shakespeare Broadway battles in honor of Shakespeare's birthday this month. And we've got some other content coming to Farmers Alley Theater's Facebook page as well. I want to thank Julie Nemitz, who's working behind the scenes for us here, being our little control person. Thank you so much, Julie, for all you do for Farmers Alley and for so many theaters around the state and the country. Again, thank you to our audience. Stay home, stay safe, and stay singing. And we'll see you next time here at Farmers Alley Theater at Home.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.
Bye.